today about spring. Lord, afford a spring to us. Let me feel like what I see. Speak in your gracious voice. Make my soul rejoice. On your garden that needs to smile, raise the plants, enrich the soil. Soon your presence will restore life to what seemed dead before. Amen.
Amen.
Jerry, you want to start us out?
Okay, on May 11th, I approved vouchers in total of amount $7,369.27. Vouchers from the juvenile and probate court released for payment by the auditor's office, consisting of mostly travel reimbursement and contract payments.
Is that anything that falls back onto some of the other stuff or not?
That was a portion of the original list that the prosecutor, or the probate court had sent down. That hadn't been paid yet.
Not everything, but a few, several of them, I
And
think.
how old are, like, some of the old stuff or some of the original stuff?
Probably some of it was about a month old.
Okay, so not
Little
like
bit-
the
little bit
original.
sooner.
No, not the original one that's subject to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
case.
He's gonna switch gears.
And then on
Get his paper.
He's got it on both sides.
May 12th, for the Department on Aging, approved the extension of paid administrative leave for Shauna Gayorki, Recreation and Education Assistant, for the period May 9th, 2021 through May 12th, 2021. And on May 17th, for maintenance, I accepted the resignation of Hannah Staggs, full-time office coordinator, to be effective July 9th, 2021.
All right.
He has additional actions following that for next week.
So now the Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, how you doing?
Doing well, how about you?
Good.
Good. So we have another paving project. This time it is near our maintenance garage. Currently there is some old concrete. I've been told it's over 25 years old. It's pretty cracked up. And we've got some gravel down there as well. But the big issue is the drainage, or lack thereof. The drainage is not functional right now, and anytime there's a heavy rain, it backs up, and actually the water goes into the garage itself, which is not good. So we want to take care of all the drainage and put in asphalt paving down there and have it good and have it last a long time. This is the same vendor that we used for another paving project last year, and it is the same cooperative pre-bid purchasing vehicle that we used as well. We were very pleased with how it turned out last year, so we went that direction again.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Blair?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
coming
day.
in.
Good to see you, Dave.
The deal was on the financials, that's why I was going first.
Good morning,
How you doing,
Adrian.
Chair is a little
Yeah,
over here.
look awful short
I'm sorry.
this morning.
Stepping up, miss.
I didn't adjust it, I just moved them.
Talk about, feeling like you're suddenly the same size as everybody else. Okay, so today's financials include a supplemental from Transit in preparation for a cash transfer to their capital fund for the purchase of a new bus wash machine using a reimbursement grant from the Ohio Department of Transportation. Among the encumbrances are an increase from the commissioners to Then Design Architecture Ltd. for change order number 2, and 2 travel purchase orders, one from the recorder to attend the Ohio Recorders Association Summer Conference, and one from Water Resources to attend the Ohio County Sanitary Engineers Association Summer Conference. Among the vouchers are $24,635 from the Commissioner's Office to NB5 Incorporated for Owners Representative Services related to the County Office Building Project, $66,001 from the Engineer's Office to Silco Fire and Security for vertical lift gates at the main entrance and storage yard, and $938.90 from Juvenile Court, and $1648.71 from the Probate Court. These are additional vouchers that were released from the Auditor's Office, and a revenue certification from the Sheriff's Office and their Law Enforcement Assistant Fund for additional monies received in 2021 that were not included in their budget.
So has there been any explanation as to the rhyme or rhythm to these vouchers with the auditor's office? I mean, is there, some of them are coming through, some aren't, are they all, why are they being held up, do you know?
I'm not familiar with all of the reasons why things are being held up. I know that they are, there's been some difficulties, I believe, between the court and the auditor's office as far as the request that the auditor's office has made for evidentiary matters, materials.
Separate
things to
from-
back up the vouchers. And I know there's been some confusion over whether or not the auditor can request originals or if they are just to be provided with copies.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully, once matters go a little further down some of these legal avenues and opinions are made and stuff like that, things are clarified as far as the new law and stuff like that, that hopefully some of these gray areas will be cleared up.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it seems as though they're picking and choosing which ones, there's no, I had heard there's like, for example, drug tests. They've completely exhausted the vendor for the drug tests, won't provide any more now, because we're so far behind in paying them. Is that right or not?
There are some that are still being held up. There are some that have been paid, so I'm not sure which vendor they're referring to as far as the drug tests, but I know that some things, both in this one and in the one that Jerry approved last week, did include some of those drug test companies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's starting to interfere with the operation of the court, being able to perform their job, right?
right,
If
yeah.
you can't,
I mean, it would seem so, yes.
Plus, I think that, to Tim's point, there's only so many people that are sometimes involved in some of the services that are provided, locally and stuff. So I totally agree.
I mean, I understand the
Right.
providing all the correct information in both sides of the story, but at the same time, we've got a job to perform here too, keeping business moving, we can't be backlogging. Last time I checked, it was up to over $30-some thousand that we haven't paid since what, April?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Beginning of
exactly
April?
The beginning of the beginning date was, but yeah, they've paid
They paid some
a
of those?
portion of those, yeah. There were two, so I have the list that was provided to you guys
Okay.
a while back.
Yeah.
That was the $30,000. And two of the drug testing vouchers were paid last week with that approval. I don't remember which ones were paid, they would be approved today. So they're getting through them, I think, I don't know what happened.
It'd be helpful to understand.
Them having an issue, and that's sitting up in either of those offices every day to see what's going on.
But,
It's hard to
and
see with the.
and we're kind of, we have a role to play in this as well, the commissioner's office and specifically Adrian, and this is causing a lot of gyrations for him as well,
Yes.
right? I mean, so we're doing a lot of outside of the norm type financial work that's causing this office a bunch of backup in time.
And some of that's been going on for a while, so with regards to when the court started sending down their vouchers with the
Different GL
with the
date.
GL dates being when they sent them down as opposed to
Yeah.
the date that it would be on the meeting, so they
It'd be
don't look
helpful.
into the printouts.
It'd be helpful to understand, if there was an explanation with this, not just, we're left guessing,
Well, we've been trying to get an explanation, and it's different depending upon who you talk to.
Okay.
So it's,
Right, right.
Right.
Okay.
Is there a motion
Yep.
on the financials?
Well, the other thing too is I guess my question is this state auditors came in, if this would have been a big issue, why would we not have had a report from the state auditor saying there's a problem,
No, it's being done.
Because of the fact that their whole, purpose is compliance.
Mhm.
And so if we're not getting flagged by the state auditors, why are we having this backup?
Right, right.
That's my biggest question,
I
And
agree.
it's just,
Yeah, it's,
these vendors are doing their job, and they deserve to get paid. I mean, and we're holding up, and then they're gonna end up basically not providing service to us, saying you're not paying.
that's right.
It's like Tim said, I totally agree. We're gonna end up, in a situation where we're gonna end up losing services that we need. And
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll make that motion on this.
Second,
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lyon.
yes.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
And then I guess just my question is, I know the court has been seeking counsel again for these next group or package of payments that are not going to pay, or they're going unpaid. Where are we at with that? I know there was an application made to the prosecutor's office a couple of weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah, the request was made to the prosecutor's office, actually, if you sent Mr. Blaze an email last week, yesterday, he replied back, I'll reach exactly what his reply was. If it comes His reply was, in order to determine if the court is entitled to outside counsel, I have to determine if the auditor refuses to pay the bill. The auditor has told me these bills are being paid, but the court is making the situation difficult by not submitting invoices, etc. The auditor told me that he is accepting copies of invoices. I should get a response from the auditor tonight or tomorrow.
Okay,
So
okay, so it sounds like it is being.
it's being addressed. It's just trying to
Okay.
gather all the information.
I mean, it's hard for me to understand because I'm not involved in that part of it, but from the outside looking in, it seems a lot like Charlie Brown here, and they keep pulling the football out every time they get close. You know what I mean? Because it seems like there's a lot of this like jockeying or something.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's affecting the residents of this county.
Exactly.
And the services we're providing, and the court doing their job, and the auditor doing his job, and us trying to do our job. If it is gamesmanship, it needs to come to an end. Right?
Yeah, and the hard part for me is not sitting in the office and, sitting in their offices and seeing what's actually being transposed back and forth,
Mhm.
to know who's really kind of the roadblock in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. Yep.
Adrian, one question,
Yeah.
undefined term, what is GL date?
General ledger date, so that's
Okay.
like the date on which something gets
Okay.
paid.
Okay,
Like
thank
today.
you.
Today would be a GL date.
Thank you.
County engineers?
Pens to Andy. Let's see.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
We've got 3 items on the agenda. The first is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 21-065 to improve Bass Lake Road, CH-23, sections 8 through C. Section of roadway from 87 to Butternut Road, it's about 2.5 miles. Resolution is just giving us authority to complete surveys, plans, profile sections as required from the work.
Is that just a grind and repave?
Once we're done with, it could be a grind and repave, it could be an overlay, but, based on our pavement course, this is allowing us to perform all that work.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Lyon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Item 6 on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute the contract with Eclipse Company Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Washington Street, sections F through J in Auburn Township. You've already awarded this job, this is just signing the contract.
So move.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier. Commissioner Lyon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
The final item is requesting the board award the bid to Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Russell Road, CH-20, Section A in Russell Township, in the amount of $276,839, as they represented the lowest and best bid.
So move.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier. Commissioner Lyon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
When are you gonna start? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does that run from 87 all the way to Sugar Run?
Yes, yeah, that's considered Section A, it's only one section of roadway, so we'll be doing the entire thing.
Oh, good.
So, like 3 miles or?
It is 1.26 miles long.
Okay.
It's not, you think it's longer than it is, it's not really a long run of Russell Road, so.
Okay.
When do you think they'll get going on Washington Street?
We have a pre-con scheduled for next week. So
Okay.
as soon as, we were waiting for the contracts to be signed and preemptively yesterday, we scheduled our
Oh, good.
pre-construction
So you
meeting.
think they'll,
I'd like to say we have that pre-construction meeting, they'll be submitting submittals, and we should be seeing activity here within a few weeks.
pretty good, right on, okay,
So,
good.
okay,
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your help yesterday.
You're welcome.
You guys don't want to commute from their office to their work site.
Right.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right at their garage.
They can walk.
Yeah.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good,
good. Morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I would have been surprised if it was somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
What do you have for us today, Dave?
So we have one item for you guys today. We're requesting permission to advertise to hold public hearing number 2 for the program year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Allocation Program to be held on Thursday, June 3rd, 2021 at 10:15 a.m.
All right,
So moved.
second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
So we haven't gotten any, applications yet for this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have?
Yeah, we have the project.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, good, oh,
Yeah.
good.
So with this meeting, we'll present them to you for your review.
Oh, good, okay,
And
okay.
then you'll approve the following.
Sounds good.
Move ahead.
So how much, how many dollars are we speaking in the,
284,000.
284? Okay.
It's about the same,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's good.
how many projects have you gotten so far?
We had 11 projects,
Mhm.
3 of which did not meet the eligibility. We have a recommendation for 6
Okay,
approximately.
right on.
Nice.
Very good. Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maintenance Department.
Hi, Glenn.
Morning.
Morning,
Good
Glenn.
morning. Good, good.
Ready for the snow this weekend?
Yeah, when it's 90.
Seeing who's listening and who's ignoring me.
It's not out of the question.
Number 9, the first one is for gov deals. What we've done is addendum to the contract. They've changed names, plus we've extended it out for a little bit.
What'd they change to?
Liquidated services operations.
But are they still under Gov Deals online?
It's still considered somewhat gov deals, yes.
I see.
So,
But I mean, on their website, is it still the Gov Deals?
I have to go look. So, as far as I know, every time I pull it up, I pull up gov deals and it comes right up.
I would guess,
Okay.
yeah, it's either the same, or if you put that in, it just
Yeah.
directs you to the new site.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're still in the DBA, so
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes. Do you have the, how much salt did we use this winter?
No, I don't. Not right offhand. I can get that
Yeah.
information for you.
Next couple of weeks, just curious, and then see how much we spent on the year before and things like
Yep.
that.
That's not a problem. The next one's for the copier machine. Ours is about, it is on its last leg. So I've stretched it out and stretched it out for 2 years. So $5,000 for a new one. And then we get charged, it's like .0043, which is really good for us. So,
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
anything else?
When are they gonna start digging that trench that we approved last week or the week before?
Correct. We had a meeting out there with the water department, engineers and everything, so we have a meeting out there tomorrow again. So they're looking at, because the boring is about 6 weeks out. So they're looking at maybe doing an open trench out there and digging all the way down and the whole works on that. So, like I said, we have a meeting tomorrow with them of which way we want to go in this whole thing.
Mhm.
So I kind of like, let's just go with the boring. You guys put a portable generator down there for the time being if you really need it yet. and then go with that, so. With boring, you don't need to cut the drives or anything like that, and the whole works, the yard work and everything, so.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see, but we'll see what they want to do. So,
And then with the new building, with the CEI, are they gonna have a temporary, or are we gonna wait a couple months and have a permanent come in?
last discussion was they're gonna put the transformer up by the road. Then there's another one down by the building and set all of that. And then do a temporary from that transformer into the building. So they're going back and forth, the contractor with CEI going, if it's a temporary or if it's not a temporary.
Okay.
So, yeah. But getting it all hashed out, so it's coming along, everything down there, so.
I drove by this morning and they're pouring the third floor,
Third floor?
cement floor today, so pumping it up there.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting, so it'll be good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, anything else?
Thank you, Glenn.
Yep. Y'all have a good day.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
Water resources.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Hi.
Are we pulling number 11? Carrie? Is
Yes.
that- Yeah, okay, so skip that one.
Oh, what?
We needed to pull something, it's the ADP.
Oh,
So-
I wasn't told, sorry.
That just came up this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And so number 12, the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 21-066, requesting to establish a new fund for the McFarland wastewater treatment plant upgrades project to track all revenue and expenses associated with that project.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion.
Second.
Mr. Spinelli?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Yes.
Mr. DeWart?
Yes. What fund were you using to establish the revenues and expenses before?
It's a new project, so that's why we're creating a brand new fund for it, so that we can track everything, because it's new stuff.
Okay.
That way it doesn't get mixed in with all the other projects.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Great,
Can I-
thanks.
Sure. Can I take what was pulled then? Because I have to, thank you.
Okay, the next item is a contract maintenance form with NV5 to make an adjustment to their contract. They're actually going to be helping with the IT portion, double checking everything before it goes out to bid and getting it. So we're adding that into this project, and then they'll be involved in when the install goes on to make sure that it's all going in correctly.
Excellent. So that IT covers, I mean, that's pretty broad scope, but it's, I mean, like, there'd be
It's
security
all
systems.
Security,
and
video cameras.
Yeah.
The
all TVs.
keypads for the doors and
Keypads
things?
for the doors, yeah. It
Okay.
covers
All that.
everything in the building.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and will they be with, reviewing this with ADP?
They're
now?
working, yeah, they'll be working with ADP on the whole, that's the whole thing, is we just wanted to have a third party take a look at it and make sure
Yep.
everything's in there, because we don't want to get it bid out and then find, oh, we missed this thing, or
Okay.
this didn't connect, or,
Excellent, okay.
So
More eyes looking at it.
Second,
yeah.
Mr. Spinelli?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
yes.
Mr. DeWart?
Yes.
Jim, on this one, you have to sign, all three of you have to sign on the yellows, and then you also have to sign on the red.
Okay.
And this is second page.
how you doing, Jessica?
Carbon 98.
Good, how are you?
Good morning.
Good, good.
Good morning.
Hello.
All right, so I wanted to come in and talk a little bit about the senior centers today. I have to say, unfortunately, when I had asked to be put on the agenda last week, I knew a little bit more then than I do now, because things keep changing.
Oh my God.
You know, you're the governor,
saw
say
that.
one thing, and then it's like the next day is, well, we're changing things
I don't think
again.
he knows.
No.
It changes so very rapidly.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm happy to announce. So we are going to open our senior centers. We're going to do a modified opening, slow start, on June 7th. The reason we're not doing June 1st as a kickoff is we do have a senior day planned on June 3rd, so our staff are very busy working for that. It'll be at the Drive-In Movie Theater. We're having a Beatles band. It's outdoors. Throughout this entire pandemic, I mean, we've been working, you know? Meals have not stopped. I mean, our social workers have not stopped. Our senior centers closed its doors, but we started the virtual programming. We've been to people's houses, setting up technology for them in their homes. We've visited them on their birthdays. We've visited our veterans for Veterans Day. We've done drive-in events. We have remained active just outside of our walls. So now that we're coming inside of our walls, we do want to start slow. We understand the temperature is different with every single person regarding COVID, regarding being in groups again. Right now, there are orders effective May 4th for senior centers and adult day. What we don't know is if those orders will be rescinded. You know, the governor said we're getting rid of health orders on June 2nd. And then there's a disclaimer at the very bottom of our update that says, except those who provide congregate health care services to older adults. So we have to sit and kind of wait. I'm sure you're all aware of the mask change amendment yesterday. Adult daycare is not included in that mask lifting. They must wear masks at all times, and so must the staff. Right now, senior centers are silent. We don't have clarification. So we do plan to open June 7th. What we will do is we will have 1 to 2 in-person programs a day. We will be taking reservations only. We are going to start at a reduced capacity. Okay? Those who are coming will be required to kind of go through the little COVID health screening. Do you have a fever, cough? You know, those typical questions that you could ask. And any rules, regulations, guidances that remain in effect at the time, whether masks are required, social distancing is required, we will adhere to those orders at that time and communicate to those who have made their reservations to do so. Some of these in-person programs that we will do, we will live stream them, and we will also continue with the virtual programming that we've been doing. We hope as things improve and as there's more clarity with orders, really we have to wait until June 2nd until we find out what applies to us in some way, shape, or form. We will adapt and we hope to expand our programs July, August, September, and grow. So that's kind of where we are right now. Regarding our current masking status, we have not allowed any employee or visitor in our building without a mask. We understand there was a change last night. There are vaccinated rules and unvaccinated rules, and certainly I look forward to having a discussion about how we are going to proceed moving forward with masks, and what burden of proof we plan to require people to present to us if they're not wearing a mask. So we certainly need to have some discussions as well regarding our senior centers. There are testing requirements for COVID. They have gotten much better, but they still exist. Specifically in the adult day, there are vaccinated rules and unvaccinated rules. So as we begin to approach that, we do need to think about, do we want to go straight across the board, or do we want to separate people into 2 different groups as we move forward providing services? So as we inch a little closer, there's a lot to think about. I will say we've experienced a lot of comments, a lot of interactions with folks, and certainly my staff, we have a lot of concerns as we move forward. We very much fear what we call an us versus them culture. We are not in large favor of doing this for a vaccinated group and this for an unvaccinated group.
And just another thing, I think not just us here, but we're gonna start running into challenges with, confidentiality and HIPAA laws. I mean, I believe there's still some, I don't know, I think these things are gonna be challenged once you start trying for people to divulge their medical history and such, so.
Yeah. And that's been part of the discussion I've had with Jessica.
Jerry and I have had a lot of discussions.
Just doing it across, whatever we do, one way or the other, do it across the board, because, there's nothing under HIPAA that says that we can't ask that question, but the problem is, once we have that knowledge, we have to keep it quiet. We have to keep it, to
Confidential.
ourselves.
Right.
Confidential. That's too much to be asking of your, you know, your
staff.
Your staff that's just there, you know, at their $15 an hour job.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you've got to keep all this, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Under, yeah, confidentiality, yeah.
So, we've had a number of discussions about this, trying to figure out ways to get to, because I know I wanted to get the senior centers open earlier, but
Mhm.
it was just the original rules that came out were
Yeah.
too crazy to try to deal with.
They were in
Right.
place.
And the liability too, if that's still an issue or not, or.
At this point with our adult day, yes.
Mhm.
You know, the testing requirement for the adult day is unvaccinated seniors need tested twice a week for COVID.
Hmm.
I have the tests. They expect my staff to test them.
Yes.
You know, and we
Again.
have biohazard bags, and we've been trained, and we have refrigerators to put your nasal secretions in.
But is that
we-
really, you know?
We will
hard?
do it if it's in the best
Yeah, and
interest of everyone. Do we want to do it? Not particularly. Do I really want to come in contact with nasal secretions? No.
Does the state pay to train our people?
We got trained by UH Geauga.
Okay. So there's no extra expense for that?
There was none. The state did give us our tests. The issue with testing someone twice a week is the lab can't turn it around. So you're just testing people without results, and you're also testing folks who have cognitive issues. And that can be rather traumatic for them. So we are waiting till that June 2nd to see what orders get rescinded, lifted, and amended. But right now, we look at the mask issue that we face today and how that will be moving forward. Right now, like I said, it is silent regarding senior centers. We are probing the state for more clarity. Did you leave it out on accident? Did you mean to put this in here? We need a little more clarity. And once again, the biggest decision is how we move forward with the state kind of taking the CDC's guidance regarding the current mask issue we have. You know, our options at our agency that we've discussed, and Jerry, we hope to get with you later on today to go a little bit further, because you know it was the 7:59 question that, you know, everyone walks into, is, you know, we have two options that we see. Well, three options. Option number one, we all keep wearing masks, we all keep social distancing, and that's what we do. Option number two, here's the order. We're not going to do proof of vaccination, and we're not going to ask you about your vaccination status. Here's the order, and it's the honor system. Is there the potential for unvaccinated folks to not wear a mask? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Option number three is, here's the order, and we're going to police it. We're going to ask you for your vaccine card. We're going to ask you when your boosters due. I guess we're going to make a copy of it. And then I guess we can kind of police how honest people are. So those are the three options. I think we as a team are very strongly about, we don't want to police people.
That's not gonna work in Geauga County.
Or anywhere.
We don't want to. Regardless of what we're reading in different articles and journals and discussions that we have with the state, we do not necessarily agree with what the state has recommended. They have recommended that we only offer programs to vaccinated people. We're not in line with that. We believe we serve all the citizens of Geauga County, regardless of their vaccination status. And we need to provide the safest environment possible for programming and services. And at the end of the day, people have a personal choice.
That's right.
You can be fully vaccinated, go ahead and wear your mask. Maybe you're living with someone with cancer and you don't want to get a cold and get them sick.
Yeah, there's
We don't
You respect that too.
We don't
the
care.
responsibility's on you now.
We don't care.
Vaccines are available, masks are available, you can choose.
We're committed to a safe environment, but we are very concerned about policing. At the present time, I have a policy in place. We have never gathered health information from my staff. Never. We don't gather health information. I have not gathered vaccination information from my staff. I don't plan to do so, and I have prohibited them from discussing their vaccination status amongst one another or our clients. I do not want an us versus them culture in my office either. So we look to see businesses, we understand, can decide whether we're going to stay fully masked or what we do. So we do need to get on that page as well. So we do have,
I'm all in favor of getting the centers open and
Yep.
as quickly as possible, and because there's a lot of people
Yep.
utilizing them. But at the same time, you know, if we're going to go in there and have to, you know, stand on our head and do jumping jacks all at the same time, you know, it may not be worth it yet to get those open and race into something if it's just gonna be, because again, this could all be mute, another 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they could change.
Well, to move forward at this point, the most restrictive measures that we could put into place are the measures that existed yesterday, which were everyone is masked and social distance at all times in the senior centers. I think that's where we're at right now because those orders haven't changed. We're fine moving forward with that. At a reduced capacity, we're only looking at 10 to 15 people in the senior center, like one person per 100 square feet in the different rooms. So I think that's our most restrictive situation. I think what's going to get sticky is if the orders are lifted and it goes back to the mask issue, vaccinated and unvaccinated. It's what do you want to do? Do we want to follow the orders and we're doing the honor system, or do we want to follow these orders and they have to present some proof? I think that's the two things we need to contend with. But we plan to move forward. As of now, we're looking to mask and social distance because the specific orders for the senior center have not been amended yet.
Yeah.
But when they do, at least for the senior centers, we're thinking there's going to be the mask option. And once again, we need to decide whether as a business, we're just going to say masked at all times because everyone's doing the same thing, or we're going honor system, or we're going to police it.
Is West Geauga, I drove by the other day in the shopping center. We're
Yeah.
out of that lease, right?
So our lease expired on the 31st of March. What we did was we relocated to the Metzenbaum workshop. That's where our adult day was. We revamped the kitchen there, and that's where our home delivered meals are going out of.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
I know we're working on a new senior center location, a permanent location in Chesterland right now. Right now, when we open our senior center, our Chesterland Senior Center will kind of be like the senior center without walls. So they'll be doing things at the parks and the communities, maybe using Metzenbaum's gym until we can have a permanent location.
Isn't that a good place to base the senior center out of there? Can we just make that
Yes.
We're working on finalizing that. It's because it's the Metzenbaum property, it's still under the deed restriction. So the attorneys are trying to figure out how to handle the deed restriction with that. Once
But I mean,
get
we
that
do all
done,
kinds of other stuff out of there, right?
through rent, yeah, but not a permanent location.
Oh, okay.
So we would hope if we could find some permanency there, we'd have to do a little bit of renovations because keep in mind it was a workshop and classrooms for the developmentally delayed. So.
And you have all the, space you need, and, I'm sure a lot of the stuff needs to be updated, but like the kitchen and.
It's a good facility,
Yeah.
and being next to the park is a great
Yeah.
thing. I mean, at the plaza, it was great to be close to Giant Eagle. There was that amenity. But it's
Right.
great to be next to a park and also a school that has a gymnasium and whatnot. So there's perks in both places, certainly.
It's already ADA compliant.
For the most part, yes. Yeah,
And
we got the automatic
The lease is
doors.
over though, right?
Yes, the lease
Yeah.
expired on the 31st of
Okay,
March.
okay. And then what about some of the other centers? What are going on? Like Middlefield, for example, that's still the same, right?
Yes, so we remain at Middlefield.
Mm-hmm.
We are currently still at our Ravenwood location. We are working with Ravenwood Mental Health on that rental until we can move forward with a newer senior center on this side of town. I think now that we've stabilized from COVID and now that there's a light with opening senior centers, it's the right time to start moving on that project. Middlefield remains in the Middlefield Village Community Center, and our Bainbridge Senior Center remains at the church.
Okay.
And our adult daycare does remain at the MSI workshop building.
MSI, which one's
That's
that?
the Metzenbaum
That's
workshop.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
that workshop.
yeah,
They call
okay.
it the MSI
Yeah, yeah.
building, certainly.
Very good.
So I don't know if you have any questions. I've talked a little bit. We are going to open on the 7th. We're going to open small. If we have to be all masked, if that's what it is, that's what we're going to do.
So that, just to be clear, the last order I heard was congregate settings, you still have to be masked, right? Is that
As
the
of,
idea?
yes, the
Yeah.
order on
Even
the
with the
4th of May, regardless of vaccination status, you had to be masked.
Okay.
The testing so we'll talk senior centers first. At the senior centers, you had to be masked at all times when indoors. That was the order, is the order. Also, if someone presents with a symptom of COVID, we must get them tested. We have to isolate them immediately and get them tested. So we have a plan in place for that as well.
Do you take their temperatures
Why do we have
as well?
If
If they wanna come in?
If it happens when they're at the center.
Oh.
If it happens before they come and they don't come, or it happens, 10 minutes
If
after
they're
they,
trying to come
10
in.
minutes after they leave the facility,
Yeah.
then it's not our responsibility.
Okay.
But if it happens at the
It's
facility,
like halfway through a program, someone starts getting the sweats and not feeling good.
Okay.
We have to isolate them and get them tested. We have two options. We can test them. However, we didn't have a physician willing to give non-medical personnel the authority to do so at this time. So we're making arrangements. It's very accessible at CVS. We know how to help make people appointments for the rapid tests. So that's the plan, to get people tested at this point.
What if they don't want to be tested?
So we have an agreement that they need to be in compliance with all of our reopening orders.
Or they just can't
Don't
come back?
participate.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, our adult daycare, a little bit different. Once again, masked at all times. And we're talking about folks who have cognitive delays, which could be a little difficult. The testing requirement is twice a week. FedExing those, storing those. That's still,
Regardless, you're tested twice a week.
so
Yeah.
we only are testing unvaccinated people twice a week.
Oh, okay.
So we have to step into that who's vaccinated, who's not world. You all get tested, you all don't.
That's a little different setting, though.
It is a little different.
Yeah.
Staff included.
Yeah. I mean, it's more like a,
Daycare. It's
yeah,
a
yeah,
daycare.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a little more intense.
It
than
is a little more
senior
intense.
center. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cognitive deficits with decision making and hygiene, and they often need prompted to, cover their mouth when they sneeze, and there's some things that slip
And they're
up.
spending a good portion of the day there,
Same
too.
space.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shared space, but we do have a good space where we can keep people 6 feet apart. But once again, testing people twice a week, you can't even turn those results around. So we're working with the state. We've requested, if we have to have people tested, if we can go the rapid test route, which gives you a result in 15 minutes. However, we would have to get a laboratory license. If you don't want us testing people, you don't want us to be a lab. I'm just saying. So I've suggested to the state that maybe they should get the laboratory license when we work underneath them. So they're looking into that. There is a state medical director who is looking at providing the authorization for us to allow testing, and they're looking into getting that, it's called a CLIA license, for rapid tests. The reason you turn into a lab is because instead of sending the results away, or sending the specimens away and getting the result, you get to view the result. And when you get to view the result, you become a lab.
And then we have to keep that data.
keep that data and keep.
Yeah.
And then we're responsible to, if it comes up positive, to reporting it to the
Like,
state.
who's funding,
and all
are we
that,
getting
yeah.
funded for that? Or, yeah.
Also, that I do have to say, even the storage, like, yes, you get biohazard bags, but do you really want bags with everyone's nasal secretion sitting around? It's kind of,
Yeah.
like I said, we'll do what we.
There's a reason why we haven't opened up the senior center.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, I see the issue.
Typical mandates from the state.
I mean,
with no money.
we're trained,
Yes.
we're ready, but the state has not been very cooperative or supportive.
Yeah,
throughout
I think
this
like Ralph said,
process.
they don't know what's really going on.
I don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder if the
Yeah.
folks making the rules have ever worked in that, field. So, just Jen, do you have any general questions? It's been a long. We're so excited to see people face to face in our senior
I'm
centers.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a pleasure having people come in for legal appointments, tax appointments. I mean, it's been a pleasure
Yeah.
to serve folks. So I know our senior centers are really excited.
What are the numbers from the state? In other words, what's the percentage of people like over 65 or over 70? What's the percentage of them receiving their 2 COVID shots?
So I wouldn't have the state's number. I'd have to go and look up. I don't know. I get a briefing like 2 or 3 times a day. So let me just see if they gave it to me this morning.
I thought I heard like 60% or so, or is that nationwide?
Okay, got the confirmed cases, ICU admissions, the number per 100,000 people, new health orders. Youth vaccination, Vax-A-Million. They did not include sometimes they include how many Ohioans have been vaccinated. They did not include that in the update. I know Tom, I talked with Tom Quaid quite a bit, and he has given me some numbers in the last few weeks of how many Geauga County residents age 60 and over have been had at least one shot. So he's kept in touch regarding that, but I haven't received any data in at least 2 weeks. Yeah. We are currently helping the health department vaccinate homebound clients who are interested. So we've been working with our home delivered meals clients, our folks receiving home care to work with them. But any questions regarding the senior centers?
Are there any questions from the public?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones, go ahead.
Thank you. Jessica, at the beginning, I may have heard it wrong, I just want to clarify. I know that the orders are revised on June 2nd, but the actual opening, will that be June 2nd?
June 7th.
7th. I did hear it
7th,
correctly.
yes.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and I just want to be clear that the orders for senior centers and adult daycare, they came out on the 4th of May.
Yeah,
We don't know whether they will be rescinded
I have to agree.
because there's that. The pandemic's over for everyone except for a few, and we might be in that in a few. It depends where they want to put us.
That's true.
They call us a congregate setting for, and they use the term older adults. Sometimes they throw the term out, congregate healthcare setting for older adults. So it's hard to determine whether our adult daycare is going to be included with nursing homes and assisted livings, or if they're going to include the senior centers.
I heard that, and
It's hard.
It's a hedge. It's a hedge.
And they will change their mind at the last
They
minute.
could.
So we're going to open, like I said, most restrictive will be masked and social distance. If the mask mandate lifts, we need to decide how we're going to proceed regarding allowing folks to follow orders, if we're going to continue being very restrictive, or if we're going to be at the police.
Once there is a revised statement on June 2nd, will you be issuing a written statement or be presenting again to the commissioners for clarification?
I'm happy to come back. I do have a statement going out in the newsletter, and basically it states that we are opening June 7th. We ask for understanding and patience. We're going to offer limited programming at a reduced capacity. We're requiring participants to make an appointment or reservation to attend, at least in the month of June. We're going to require our participants to do a COVID-19 health screening, including a temperature check at our place, at least in the month of June. And we're going to require participants to adhere to all senior center sector-specific state orders and guidelines.
And as of now, the space requirement, what is that? It's 100
So what we are-
people per...
We are following 1 person per 100 square feet. That is what we are doing. There's not a specific requirement to do so, but we feel that it is a best practice. I've conferred with the health department. Also, when you look up fire code and safety, it's more than double what you need in our normal world. So basically, in 1,000
per 100 square
10 by
feet.
10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Because remember, you're supposed to be 6 feet from each other on each side, front and back.
Yeah, that's true.
And keep in mind, if you're exercising, you're going to move.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
I know. We have, I will tell you, we've kind of become mini professionals in science, in buildings.
Yeah.
I know every measurement of every room.
Yeah.
So any other questions that I can answer?
No, just appreciate you.
With everything changing like it is, I mean, what are your plans for activities and things?
Good question.
At the Geauga County Fair?
Oh, at the fair.
Look
Are we having the fair this year?
It'll be a normal fair.
Are we having the fair?
Right. Looking in your crystal ball,
Only if Quaid allows it.
My crystal ball has been very cloudy, I will tell
Okay.
you, as with most people. So I think, I'll need to talk with Sandy. Sandy runs our senior centers, and she's teaching in a class right now. So typically at the fair, in the past, we would do some kind of baked item, a beverage, and give out information.
Right.
I don't see why we couldn't participate in that. We may have to move to pre-wrapped snacks and stuff, but we can handle that.
Okay.
So we would like to have a presence at the fair.
Any other questions for
Anything else I can
Jessica?
Thank you.
answer for
No, I
ya?
appreciate, I know this has been a lot of, you're dealing with the population the most susceptible, so this has been very important, what you've been doing, so.
Thank you. And had this been last week, I could have been very definitive about what I was saying, but as of last night at
Yeah.
4:30, it was like,
Well, that's what I
well,
mean.
here we go
I
again.
said, don't get too comfortable because this is
Yeah,
probably all.
4:30 you'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah.
you know what?
You'll have another,
Right.
We all have to wear hats now, it's,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
You never-
Yeah.
You have to wear a hat.
Chew gum,
So,
yeah.
right, well, thank you all
Yeah.
so much,
Right.
and thank you for your patience and support throughout
No,
this
yeah.
whole time.
Anything you need.
Yep.
I like the sound of the utilization of the Metzenbaum
I do
building.
too.
though.
I
think
mean,
that'd be
I'll
a
tell
good
you what, it
spot.
has some great bones.
Yeah.
It has great spaces. It does need, we need to swing a hammer in a couple places
Mhm.
and get out some paint,
Mhm.
before we would have folks in there. So
Yeah.
when I get the approval to
tons of
swing
room.
that hammer,
You got tons of room though.
I'll let someone who knows how to swing a hammer do it because.
Yeah.
Glenn can find somebody.
Glenn doesn't know that. Yeah.
You can't bring down every wall, I've
Yeah.
learned. So.
Okay.
Oh, he can bring down a wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just has to be the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One in question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Good.
we're looking for a equity subcommittee person representing Jaga County.
For NOACA.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, so they've formed a new subcommittee called Equity Subcommittee.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've all heard that.
Equality Subcommittee.
No, Equity.
Equality, it should be.
Equity is what they're calling it.
Equality. No
Equity
act
is
should
what
be
they're calling it.
removed completely.
Yeah, go look up their definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I'd like to nominate Tim Snyder.
Okay. Yeah, Tim would be good.
I'll second that.
Mr. Spudler.
Aye.
Mr. Lemon.
Yes.
Mr. DeWar.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Question about next Tuesday's walkthrough. Is that a public event, and what time will that be taking place, please?
Well, do you have your own hard hat, and do you have a OSHA 10-hour card?
We have a what?
Hard hat and an OSHA 10-hour card.
Okay, so it's not a public event.
Well, if you can meet the construction requirements.
Gotcha.
Because
All
it's a
right.
secured construction zone, it's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. The other question is regarding the planning commission meeting, which has been announced for next Tuesday, but I see it's not listed here.
That's because it was not sent to me as a notification. I had never received a notification of it.
Wait,
So we are having a meeting now?
yeah, it's to
It was
go over
announced
the
last
general
week.
plan.
It was at the last planning commission meeting, and they're gonna go over the whole 150-page
Yeah.
program.
Oh, okay. So
It's on the internet if you wanna read about it.
So we are having it though, next Tuesday?
7:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Or nobody knows?
I have
Yes,
to
I
confirm
do.
that.
Oh,
Not heard
okay.
that either.
Is it a
Yes.
special meeting?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes, there is a planning commission meeting next Tuesday. Linda has asked that myself and Reba from our department come and speak at the end of it regarding one of the initiatives in the general plan.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So is that a special meeting then?
I think so.
I would
Yes.
assume that it is because
Yeah.
it's not on their regular day. I will clarify that for Linda and then I will send you guys.
Yeah,
out
please.
if you'd like.
so then actually there will be a
Remind them that's a special
revised,
meeting, so it needs to be
the plan,
advertised
the
for
commissioner
48
meeting will be at
Remind them it
9.
needs to be advertised the 48 hours.
No,
No,
9:30.
we're always at 9:30.
9:30 this year.
We've been at 9:30 all year.
All
Oh,
year.
yeah, but the special planning, okay, all right.
So,
I'll have to find out when the planning commission
Yeah.
meeting is starting and
7:30.
it's at 7:30 so that
I'll
they
be
can
there
be
about
done.
8:30
Okay.
for
so
the end.
they'll have to advertise it correctly.
I've got
Yes.
it listed here as the 25th. Is
Oh.
that incorrect?
You know what? I got confused about what week it is, I would like to say. I'm coming on the 25th.
So
Next
if that's
Tuesday.
Next
the
Tuesday.
case-
That's
Oh,
next
it is-
Tuesday.
It's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, the
If it is
25th.
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, the 25th.
At 7:30.
At
Yes.
7:30.
Go ahead, I know.
Okay.
Is your mask too tight or
Okay.
something?
It is.
Start at
It's
9:30.
restricting my air. It's restricting the oxygen.
Right.
Thank you for the clarification.
Next Tuesday.
That's funny.
The 18th.
Just come up with
That's a
it.
good
Anyways,
one.
Anyway,
motion to adjourn.
I had a motion to adjourn
Okay.
and then a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okey-dokey.
So, do we have a, oh yeah.
You have
solid
a
waste.
solid waste meeting.
I have an observation, gentlemen, ladies. If you want to see what the new administration building is going to look like inside, go to the Bainbridge Library. They've done a good job. Much of the equipment that they talked about last week is exactly what's in the Bainbridge Library.
Oh, really?
And they've run out of money there, so I guess they're coming back to the commissioners' meeting someday because they ran out of money for all the grounds work outside.
Yeah, haven't heard anything from
Who's
the
coming to the
library.
commissioners? The library?
Oh, they're going to have to because they're out of
Yeah.
money.
Oh, they got plenty of money.
They got lots of money.
Yeah.
How
They got
how do
the-
we know?
They got probably the healthiest budget in this county.
There's nobody, has anybody been to the new Bainbridge Library?
Yeah.
I've been there,
How
2-3
many
months
people have you
ago.
ever seen there, Jim?
I even.
Well, I went there right before it opened to the public.
I mean, since it's been open,
I haven't been there.
it's not attended at all.
Light, very light.
Nobody's there. They're good people, don't get me wrong. The library is being run very well.
Yeah.
But there's nobody there.
I'll buy some pizza.
So I don't know what's gonna go on, but the equipment
Fantastic.
is